educate, empower, inspire. To celebrate this year's Black History Month, Crane Financial is using our platform to highlight African American entrepreneurs that are currently making history from your communities. Join us in the discussion today on Crane Conversations.
I'm Hollis Full of Love, CEO and founder of Crane Financial. This Black History Month, Crane Financial is working with other Black entrepreneurs and Black-owned businesses to highlight exactly what their vision is. Today, we're sitting with Coach Anton Williams of Solemates here in Highland, Indiana, and I know him as Coach Pete. Coach Pete was always somebody that had the freshest sneakers and always had a great collection. I remember he let us into his home and showed us his collection. I think he might have over 200 or 300 sneakers at the time, right? So it's beautiful to see how that passion has grown into an actual business that's really impacting our community and motivating us all.
Beats.
All right, Coach, so I know you for a long time. Ever since I seen you, I probably was like, I remember 7, 8 years old at the community center. You always had the freshest shoes. You always had the shoes to match the outfit. I remember at one point you had the shoes with the outfit and the car. You know what I'm saying? I remember that. So getting to this point where we at, where you got Solemates, what was the maturation for you in going through the process and the love of the sneaker culture and then making it into a business?
Man, one thing about me, Hollis, is my passion. I turned my passion into an opportunity to impact others. 100%. I love coaching basketball. Mm-hmm. That was my passion. I love doing that for you all when y'all played for me. Coaching at EC Central for 15 years, man, was a lifelong dream of mine. Yeah. Fast forwarding, being an athletic director for 10 years at the high school and the middle school, it got to a point where I was fighting for my job every year. Yeah. Not knowing if I'm gonna have a job, if this was gonna be secure. Then my godfather, Chevis Sneed,
the OG.
He told me, he was like, man, listen, it's time for you to stop fighting every year to find out if you're gonna have a job, just to make sure that you got a paycheck coming in. Right. And he was like, man, you gotta find another passion that's gonna impact the lives of the people that you've already impacted and the lives of the people that's coming in the future. So Solemates, man, it birthed out of that conversation that I had with Shell, man. Okay. It birthed out of that conversation. The name Solemates was something that was created years ago. Me and my wife, we sit down there, just brainstorming, man. And between me, her, and Anthony, we're soulmates because we're family. We put together. We all have the love for shoes. Right. So that's where the name Solemates came from, is because our family is connected and we're so connected and we all got the love for shoes. So that's where Solemates 100%. Was birthed from, man.
100%. So since you guys have opened up, I've seen the growth in it, but talk about maybe some of the things that you had to learn through that process of growing and running a business, especially having a physical location, which we see now with like larger retail markets is almost dying now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I understand from coming in here how important it is to have this atmosphere, to feel the vibe. And because this is the culture, it makes like, okay, this is why I love sneakers, getting to see all this, having the pictures up and the clothes. So talk about the process of it all and some of the things that you dealt with.
Actually, with the store, when it started to come in place, I just used to brainstorm, man. There was a point in time where I wouldn't sleep at night. Same. Things was circling in my head, man. I just had to get up and start. But then if I did not write it down, I would totally forget about it. Yeah. So my pastor was like, man, you got to start writing down everything. If it wakes you up out of your sleep, you need to write that down. So I got up, I used to start writing that stuff down, man. And Anthony was like, Dad, we got to get this done. Mm-hmm. We got to get this done. We too far. I showed them a business plan. Him and my wife, I showed them a business plan, set them down, and I gave it both to them. Mm-hmm. And I said, I want y'all input. So what I have,
yeah.
yes, what I have, I'm not doing this by myself. I'm not doing this. This is for generations to come.
100%.
Pass down to Anthony. Anthony, you pass it down to my grandbaby.
Most
you know what I mean?
Most definitely.
She a sneakerhead now, so she calling Papa, I need some shoes. So it's just a family oriented thing, man.
It's funny you say that. I want two questions. But first of all, community wise and how it's being enough. Because let's say 20 years ago, when you was already in this, nobody knew it was gonna be a situation where it was a whole industry built off sneakers. You know what I'm saying? So can you talk about a little bit about how it went through and the changes you've seen in the sneaker game, just from 2019 to maybe let's say 1999?
Wow. In '99, sneaker was huge, man. I can remember back in 1988, man, I used to go to New York every year. I used to come back with the flyest kicks. My family lives in Manhattan and Harlem. So I used to go there every summer. Me and my cousin Mika, we used to go there every summer. And my uncle used to flood me with sneakers, man. I used to come back in the 7th and 8th grade with stuff we ain't never seen here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most people used to think they were knockoffs,
right.
but I ain't never had a knockoff, you know?
They had them flavors, that's
but
all.
I used to get it from New York City.
Right.
And when I that was the culture. That's why I first fell in love with sneakers, is being in New York, man. The atmosphere there. First pair of Jordans I ever owned was a pair of Jordan 6, Retro 6s.
Yeah.
The burgundy maroon joints. That was the first pair of mics I owned. Personally, that was mine.
Yeah.
You know, after that, I started getting them, you know, periodically. My mama, and I make fun of her, she probably gonna kill me, but we used to go to Jimmy's all the time.
Okay,
man.
yeah.
We used to go to Jimmy's in Woodmont, and Hollis, we used to have to put them on layaway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we got them on the day they came out.
Right.
But you didn't get them for 30 days.
I take them home.
You know what I mean? So, I used to, man, and from that, man, I used to say that I wasn't gonna put my son through that. Not that it was a bad thing.
Right.
It just made me work much harder,
100%.
so he didn't have to struggle, or call it a struggle if you want to. But in the time, my mama did what she could to make sure it happened.
So do you see the Solemates brand expanding out from just the sneakers and moving into more of the casual footwear and dress shoes and things like that?
I do. That it's been a vision. I would like to target some women's stuff.
Okay.
I would like to target some kid things. The only thing about that is that women and kids don't do the resale thing. I just thought this was something, man, believe it or not, when we opened Solemates, we had 90% of our shoes were size 11, size 12, because that was my size and that was Anthony's size.
So y'all took it from
whatever
our
we had, my wife was like, if we gonna start this, whatever y'all got in y'all closet that's dead stock, you gotta put it in the store first. So that's what we started, you know, and even her, she wears 7.5. Whatever you got dead stock, it got to go in the store. So that's where we started at, man. I had a really, really good guy that helped me out, man. Ben was good to me. A guy named Bo, he had the padded room in Chicago. He was good to me, mentoring me and coaching me on, you know what I mean, how to get this thing started on the business aspect.
Right.
My college background, my degree is in business administration, so I've always had a business mind. I always had a business mentality. Athletics was my passion. Shoes was my passion. So I just kind of conjunction that all together, man, and try to create this.
And I can speak to that. Just being a kid, you always seem to be business savvy. Obviously, you don't know when you're 13, 14, and 15 what that really means, but you can look at certain people, you can tell by their demeanor and their aura exactly where they at. And I always saw that in you. So when you guys started this venture and to see it grow, it makes so much sense. You know what I mean? It brings joy to me to see it, especially being the family aspect. And you talked about that. But what impact do you think necessarily having this business and making it such a family thing can have on the community that we grew up in and that we live in?
It can just show people that anything is possible, man.
Right.
Nobody could imagine that this happened for me. And do I say that it's a multi-million-dollar business? No, it's not there yet. But it's a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yep.
So that means we got an opportunity to make that.
Exactly.
If I don't, Anthony has an opportunity. And if Anthony don't, my grandbaby does.
Exactly.
And whatever the future or how that passed down, is an opportunity for us to make, and that's all I wanted to give my family is an opportunity. I want to show my community that there's an opportunity for us to strive, man. Us to have a business, man. It's be days I walk in here, my daily prayer is, God, let your will be done.
Right.
When I walk through that door, I thank God every day because this don't have to be.
It does
He
not.
did not have to make this possible for me. So when I walk through those doors, don't nobody hear me. I'm by myself 9 times out of 10, but it's me giving homage to him for him blessing me enough for me to have this, man.
Okay.
So I want my community to see that. I want my community to know that this is possible, man. If Coach P can do it, anybody can do it.
Being an entrepreneur, especially a black entrepreneur, what significance does it have to you knowing that, you know, it's almost like a renaissance of us growing in the black community in terms of entrepreneurship, and especially with Black History Month coming up? How significant is that to you? Is that like a badge of honor for you?
It definitely is, man. I am definitely pro-black African American that comes from. I was born in Selma, Alabama, man. So I know the struggles. My grandmother is from Selma, Alabama. To go home, to walk that Edmund Pettus Bridge,
right,
to feel that, man, just that jubilant of where we come from to where we are.
Yeah.
And not only to be where we are, we still got a long way to go.
Most definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So our black community, with it being Black History Month, man, I literally, you know, when y'all played, we went to prayer breakfast. We served the homeless. When it come to Black History, man, it means so much to me. It's one time it's a time where don't nobody else have sales.
Right.
I have a Black History sale.
You got to.
You see what I mean?
Yep.
I want our people to come and feel like that, and that mean any race.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
you can learn from us. Different races can come. It's so many different people comes into the store, from Chinese to Caucasians to Mexican, Hispanic, whatever. They come in here, and this here gets us to talk about anything.
Right, it's like a common thread.
It's just a common thread that gets us to talk about anything, whether that's politics, whether that's the president, past or future.
Right.
You know what I mean? What they like as far as food-wise when it comes to African American foods, you know? So this just a common thread that brings communities in, man. Us being centrally located in Highland, Indiana, I could have easily done this in East Chicago, but I just didn't want to market just our East Chicago community.
Most definitely.
East Chicago comes out, so they can come here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then I hit the Munster kids, I can hit the Cherville kids, I can get the Maryville kids, I can get the Hammond people. Gary comes in support. So I just wanted to be central located where people can come. For one, they can feel safe to come.
Most definitely.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
The traffic that we get up and down Indianapolis Boulevard is...
You're in prime location.
Yeah, it's great. You know what I mean? I get people to come by and just be like, man, I just seen the shoe up there and was like, let me just see what this about.
Right.
You know, man, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. I do that to everybody that comes in, man. So our Black History Month, man, I really want to do something real special, and we've been brainstorming. My wife and my son, we've been brainstorming about how we gonna make Black history bigger than what we get. We get a president in the White House that don't even mention Black history last year.
One time,
Ain't even mention it at all. So we have to keep that going if we wanted to see it stay.
Most definitely. So if you was to give some guidance to a young entrepreneur or somebody looking to start a business, whether it's similar to yours or not, what's one thing you would tell them to do in this journey, to begin this journey or to push through it?
Man, first thing is first, man. You gotta have some faith, man.
Most definitely.
You gotta have faith. I stepped out on faith, man. I walked away from a job that was paying me $65,000 to $70,000 a year.
Most definitely.
I got cut $25,000. I was down to $40,000. I just stepped out on faith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, God, you ain't gonna give me this vision and not allow me to see it through.
Most definitely.
And that vision has gotten us to this point. Are we where we want to be? You're never satisfied with where you want to be. You always striving to be better. But you gotta be persevering. You gotta have faith. I mean, you gotta believe that whatever God gives you, He's gonna be right there walking side by side with you every footstep of the way.
Most definitely.
Protecting you for one, watching over you, caring for you. My faith is strong, man. My faith is strong, man. My favorite scripture is Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of Christ and His righteousness, and all those other things will be added unto you, man. That is it for me. That is what I live by. That's what I go by. My faith is strong in my God, man, and that's the only thing that got me to this point.
Most definitely. Man, we appreciate you, Coach. Straight up.
Thank you, man.
All right.
I appreciate y'all coming through, man. Thank you for coming today. We appreciate you being here at Solemates. Solemates Boutique is a boutique that's located at 8929 Indianapolis Boulevard in Highland, Indiana. It's a collaboration of my family with myself, my wife, and my son. Solemates started with just a brainstorming of my family and I being put together and considered soulmates through God's eyes, and also having a love for shoes. We appreciate you guys coming in. Thank you for being here at Solemates of Crane Financial. Very, very inspirational young entrepreneur that I really, really look up to. And I thank him for coming by today and sharing with me.
There you have it. We like to give a special thanks to our guests. And for more financial education from Crane, visit our Facebook, Instagram, or website listed in the description below. See you next time on Crane Conversations.